Have you ever had like a really massive, complicated feeling swirling around inside your chest, but when you opened your mouth to try and explain it, you just, you couldn't find the words at all?
Oh, yeah. Like all the time.
Right. It's like there's a literal thunderstorm going on behind your ribs, but all that comes out of your mouth is a tiny, squeaky little, I'm fine.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm fine. The biggest lie we all tell.
Exactly. You're holding this huge storm, but you can only hand the other person a tiny raindrop.
Well, it's that huge disconnect, right? Like between how big your feeling is inside and how your words just totally fail you on the outside. I
Yes.
mean, we think language is this perfect tool, but when it comes to our deepest human feelings, language often just breaks down completely.
And that super frustrating universal experience is exactly what we are diving into today. Welcome to our deep dive.
So glad to be here. This is such a great topic.
We're looking at this amazing conversational guide today. It's called Unlocking the Heart, a guide to expressing inner emotions. And it features a really simple, honest conversation between two people, Aman and Ria,
Right. And what makes this source so fascinating is how it strips down all the heavy psychology. It uses very simple, everyday language.
which is perfect for us because we aren't going to sit here and use big, complicated therapy words, right? We're going to talk about the actual real-life reasons why we stay silent.
Exactly. Why do smart people still struggle to just say, hey, I'm sad?
Yeah. And we are going to build a practical toolkit for your daily life. And also, we'll look at why our idea of being strong is actually completely wrong.
Let's jump in. So, Aman and Ria start their chat by saying that emotions are just a part of being human, and they help us connect.
But wait, how does a private feeling of sadness help us connect? I mean, if I'm
Oh.
sitting alone in my room feeling sad, I'm not really connecting with anyone.
Because biologically, that feeling isn't supposed to stay in your room.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, think about how humans survived thousands of years ago in tribes. Fear was a signal to tell the group, hey, there is danger.
Right, like a tiger or something.
Exactly. And sadness is a signal that you have lost something and you need help from your community to survive. Joy means it's safe to relax.
Oh, wow. So our emotions are basically like invisible ropes trying to tie us to other people.
Yes, the feeling inside you is just the start. The actual goal is to share it with the group.
So when we feel the emotion, but we can't find the words for it, we are basically breaking our own natural system.
We're cutting the rope. When you have the feeling but don't share it, the whole system backfires.
That makes so much sense.
Right, instead of pulling people closer to you, your silence pushes them away. You're sending out a distress signal, but your beacon is totally broken.
Ah, it's like having a beautiful high-definition movie playing in your head.
Oh, I love that comparison.
Yeah, like you've got this great music, amazing colors, a huge story, but you only have a broken walkie-talkie to broadcast it to the world.
Aha!
You're pressing the button, trying to explain this masterpiece, and all the other person hears is like static noise. Shh.
And that is so frustrating.
It really is. So if you are listening to us right now, I want you to think about your own life. Think about a recent time you felt completely misunderstood.
Oh, that's a tough feeling.
Yeah, maybe you were standing in the kitchen or sitting in Mumbai traffic in an auto, and you tried to speak from your heart, but the words just came out all wrong. How lonely did that feel?
It is honestly one of the loneliest things a person can experience. Because, you aren't physically alone in the auto or the kitchen.
Right, there is someone right next to you.
Exactly. But you are emotionally stranded. It's like you are building a bridge over a river to reach the other person. You work so hard to build it.
But the bridge just stops halfway across the water.
Yes. You are just standing there, over the water, totally alone.
Okay, so if the whole goal of these feelings is connection, if that is what our brains want, what are the basic feelings we're dealing with? Because sometimes I don't even know what I'm trying to say on that broken walkie-talkie.
The guide we are looking at gives us a very simple map. It lists 5 common feelings: happy, sad, lonely, excited, and confused.
Okay, wait, I have to push back on that list a little bit.
Why?
Well, happy, sad, lonely, excited, sure, those are basic. We teach those to small kids. But confused,
Yeah, what about it?
isn't saying I'm confused just a really easy excuse? Like if you don't want to admit you were actually sad or angry, you say, oh, I'm so confused. Admitting you are sad means you have to fix a problem. Saying you are confused just lets you escape.
I totally see why you'd think that. Because
Yeah.
usually we think of confusion as like, a math problem.
Ugh.
You are confused by a tough exam question.
Right, or a complicated office Excel sheet.
Exactly. But when it comes to feelings, confusion isn't an excuse. It is a very real, very overwhelming feeling. In fact, it's the feeling that completely blocks the other four.
Really? How does it block them?
Well, our brains love neat categories. If I know for sure that I am sad, I know what to do. I can cry or talk to a friend.
Okay, yeah.
But when we have too many feelings at once, the brain gets overloaded. We think, if I don't know exactly what I'm feeling, I shouldn't say anything. So confusion is like this thick fog. It shuts down the whole airport. No planes can take off.
Oh, wait. So is confusion just the static noise we feel when happy, sad, lonely, and excited are all happening at the exact same time?
That is exactly what it is. It's the friction of all those feelings crashing into each other.
Oh, wow. Okay, think about, like, getting a new job and moving to a big city, maybe moving to Bangalore for the first time.
That's a perfect example.
Right. You are standing in your new empty room. You are so excited about the job. You happy you got a good salary,
Yes.
but you are also super lonely because you don't know anyone there. And sad because you left your family behind.
Exactly. All four feelings.
If your mom calls you right then and asks, "How are you feeling?" No, you can't pick just one. All those feelings are grinding together. It creates a buzzing sound in your chest.
And we just call that buzzing sound confusion, but it's actually an emotional traffic jam.
A traffic jam in the brain. I love that.
And, this shows a big problem we have today. We try to be too smart about our feelings. We look for very complicated, fancy words to describe what's happening inside us.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because saying I'm sad feels like something a baby would say. We want to sound smart.
Right. We want to say, I am experiencing existential burnout.
Yes. We use big words to protect our ego.
But Aman and Ria's guide shows us that going back to these simple 5 words, just saying, I am lonely or I am confused, is the most honest way to start a conversation. You don't need a fancy dictionary to talk to a friend.
So if these 5 words are all we need, why is it so scary to just say them? The guide says people hide their emotions and stay quiet because they fear judgment.
Yes, the fear of what others will think.
But what are we actually scared of? If I tell my best friend I'm sad, they aren't going to throw me out of the house.
True. But we have to look at how society works today. We live in a world that often thinks showing emotion means you are weak.
Oh, right. Especially in an office setting.
Exactly. Let's go back to the village example. In a village, crying meant you needed help. But today, in a modern office, we are taught that you must always look composed. If you show messy feelings, you look unprofessional.
It's a literal risk to your job. If you cry in front of your boss, you might not get that promotion.
Sadly, yes.
Or if you're too emotional on a first date, the person might never call you back.
Right. So choosing to stay quiet is actually a defense mechanism. Your brain runs a quick risk assessment. It says, if I share this, they might lose respect for me. It's safer to just stay silent.
Man, it's like wearing a heavy suit of armor all day long.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, like the armor protects you from getting poked by someone's judgment. But it is so heavy, and it makes it physically impossible to hug anyone.
And you just end up exhausted.
It's like hiding your feelings is a background app running on your phone. You look totally fine on the screen. You're drinking chai, doing your work, chatting. But this invisible app is draining your battery so fast.
Yes. Your internal battery goes to 0. You think you are protecting yourself, but you are actually just crashing your own system.
So the same armor that protects you from judgment is the exact thing that keeps you totally lonely.
Exactly. And think about a whole workplace where everyone is doing this. Everyone is terrified of judgment, so everyone is running that heavy background app, secretly feeling lonely, but pretending they are fine.
Because they think everyone else is fine. What a crazy situation. A whole room full of people, all feeling lonely, and nobody says a word.
It happens all the time.
But, whose judgment are we actually so afraid of? If I really think about my close friends, they are great. They wouldn't judge me.
That is something the listener really needs to think about right now. When you swallow your words, whose face flashes in your mind?
Yeah, are you scared of a specific person?
Right. Or is it just a ghost? Just some fake general rule in your head that society created. Most of the time, the enemy isn't even in the room.
Wow, we waste so much energy on a ghost. Okay, so if staying silent is the disease, the guide gives us a very clear cure. It says, expressing emotions is healthy, and talking helps reduce stress.
Yes. Very simple, but very true.
Now, obviously, we all know talking is good. But I want to know the actual science. How does forcing a feeling into an English sentence actually lower my stress?
Well, the science of this is super cool. Stress isn't just a word. It is a real physical thing in your body. It's chemicals like cortisol pumping through you.
Okay.
When you have a big, messy feeling, it lives in the emotional center of your brain, the panic center. It rings like an alarm bell over and over.
Is it burning up all your energy?
Exactly, but that feeling is abstract. It's just a tight chest or a fast heartbeat. To actually speak, your brain has to turn that mess into words.
You have to find the right noun and verb.
Right, and doing that takes a lot of brain power. Your brain has to use its logical center, the prefrontal cortex, to make a sentence.
Oh, so you are literally pulling electricity away from the panic center.
Yes. It's called giving a name to the feeling. When you pick words, the blood and energy move away from the panic alarm and go to the logic department of your brain.
That is wild. You starve the panic alarm by forcing your brain to do grammar.
Exactly. It mechanically calms you down.
So it's not magic. Saying I am stressed about money doesn't mean my bank will suddenly give me cash.
No, sadly not. Your outside problems are still there, but your inside ability to handle them is totally refreshed.
It reminds me of a pressure cooker in the kitchen.
Oh, yes, perfect example.
Like the steam builds up inside, right? The cooker starts shaking, it's super hot, ready to
It
burst.
gets really intense.
But then the whistle blows, the steam hisses out. The food inside isn't magically cooked or gone, but the cooker stops shaking so violently.
Exactly. Talking is lifting the whistle on your own internal pressure cooker. Finding the words is lifting that weight.
I love that. If you just leave it in the dark, your brain thinks it's a huge monster. But when you turn the lights on and point at it, you realize, oh, it's just a pile of clothes. It becomes small.
But the hard part is, how do we find the words? The guide Aman and Ria use is great because it gives us a real toolkit, real sentences to use.
Right, let's read some of these out. They give phrases like, I feel upset, I feel nervous, I'm not feeling okay, I feel emotionally tired, and my personal favorite, I want someone to understand me.
Notice what the most important word is in almost all of those sentences.
The word I.
Yes, the I pronoun. These are ownership statements. You are taking full responsibility for what is happening inside you.
Which is really hard to do when you are angry. My default reaction is always, you're making me nervous, or you're annoying me.
Right. And what happens when you say, you made me upset?
Oh, the other person gets super defensive. They put their armor on immediately.
Exactly, because they feel attacked. But when you use I feel statements, you are just reporting the weather inside your head. You aren't blaming them for the rain.
Ah, that makes it so much easier for them to help you instead of fighting with you.
Yes, it drops the threat level to 0.
Let's talk about that one phrase. I want someone to understand me. It is so simple, but so amazing. Because you don't even need to know if you are happy, sad, or angry.
Right, it skips all the translation work.
It totally skips the brain's logic center. You just ask directly for human connection. It's exactly like shooting a flare gun into the night sky.
A flare gun doesn't give a detailed report.
No, it doesn't say, my boat has a hole this big and it was his fault we hit a rock. It just lights up the sky and says, hey, I am here and I need help. Sometimes you just need to shoot the flare.
That is so true. And another brilliant phrase from the list is, I feel emotionally tired.
Oh, I feel that one in my bones.
Right. We all know how to say we are physically tired. I walked a lot. Or I worked all day. But emotionally tired is different.
It's the battery drain from the background app we talked about.
Exactly. It finally gives a name to the exhaustion of hiding your feelings all day.
So if you are listening right now, look at that list in your mind. I feel upset. I feel nervous. I'm not feeling okay. I feel emotionally tired. Which of those is the hardest for you to say out loud?
That's a really good question to ask yourself.
Yeah, which one makes your throat feel tight? Because wherever that tightness is, that is exactly where your armor is the thickest.
So true. But having the vocabulary is just step one. How does it work when two people actually talk?
Aman and Ria show us a perfect example in the guide. It's very short. One person says, you seem quiet today. The other says, yes, I feel stressed. Then the first person asks, do you want to talk about it? And the friend replies, yes, I think it will help.
Let's look at how smooth that is. It starts with a very gentle observation. You seem quiet today. It doesn't force anything.
It's way better than saying, why are you being so quiet? Or what's wrong with you?
Oh, absolutely. Why are you quiet? Sounds like a police interrogation. The person feels like they have to defend themselves, but you seem quiet. Just opens a door and waits to see if they want to walk through.
And they do walk through. They use the I feel statement, I feel stressed.
Yeah.
But wait, here is the most amazing part of this whole chat. Do you notice what is totally missing?
Oh, I know. There was zero advice.
Zero. None. The friend doesn't say, "Oh man, you are stressed. Drink some green tea. You should do yoga. Talk to your boss."
Haha, right? We love to give advice.
We really do. We just want to fix the problem immediately. And honestly, I think we try to fix people because their sadness makes us feel uncomfortable.
That is a harsh truth, but it's totally correct. When a friend is sad, our own stress levels go up, so we want to quickly solve it just so we can feel calm again.
Wow. So giving advice is actually selfish sometimes.
Often, yes. Well, what Ria and Aman do is show the power of just holding space. Just saying, "Do you want to talk?" It's an invitation.
And saying, "Yes, I think it will help," is like a tiny contract. They agree to lift the pressure cooker whistle together.
Exactly. But let's be real. We don't always do it this perfectly.
Haha.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Which brings us to the funniest, most relatable part of the guide.
Yes, the timing question.
Aman asks Ria, "Do you express your feelings immediately or after 3 business days?" And Ria laughs and says, "Definitely later."
3 business days. It's so funny, but so painfully true.
I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
It's like our feelings are in a corporate office.
Yeah.
They have to get stamped by the HR department before we can say them out loud.
We treat our messy human hearts like an email server. But why do we do this? Is it actually healthy to wait?
I mean, sometimes waiting is good, right? If I get a very angry email, I shouldn't reply right away. I need to count to 10 so I don't get fired.
Right. Delaying can stop a bad reaction. It lets the panic center cool down.
But I feel like most of the time, that's not why we wait.
Exactly. Most of the time, waiting 3 business days is just avoidance. It's the fear of judgment wearing a suit and tie.
Ouch. That is so true. We wait 3 days secretly hoping the feeling will just magically disappear.
Yes. We hope the other person forgets, so we don't have to do the scary work of actually talking.
We just put the feeling in the spam folder and hope it deletes itself. We tell ourselves, "Oh, I'm just being mature. I'm choosing my battles." But really, we're just scared.
And the cost of doing that is the emotional battery drain we talked about.
So, listener, ask yourself, are you a real-time talker? Or do you leave your feelings sitting in your draft folder for 3 business days, hoping you never have to click send?
It's so important to push past that delay, and that brings us to the most powerful part of the guide.
The conclusion. The guide leaves us with 2 big rules. Your emotions are valid, and expressing them makes you stronger, not weaker.
This completely flips the world upside down.
Right.
Because forever, society has said that the strong person is the silent person, the tough guy who never complains. Showing emotion was called weak.
But the science says the exact opposite.
Yes. Being vulnerable is the ultimate test of strength. It takes so much more courage to drop the heavy armor, look someone in the eye and say, "I am emotionally tired," than it does to just sit in silence.
And the guide ends with a line that has a cool double meaning. You don't need perfect English, just confidence.
This is brilliant, because the guide itself is actually designed to help people learn the English language, but it uses language to teach emotional intelligence.
I love that. How is talking about your feelings like learning to speak a new language?
Well, think about learning English or any new language. You have to be okay with looking a little foolish, right?
Oh, yeah. You use the wrong word, you sound funny.
Exactly. You make grammar mistakes, but if you wait until your English is 100% perfect before you ever open your mouth,
Yeah.
you will never speak.
The fear of sounding stupid keeps you silent.
Yes, and the fear of sounding messy keeps you emotionally lonely. It is the exact same thing.
Wow.
When you learn to share your feelings, you will stumble. Your voice might shake. You might cry when you didn't want to.
You might pick the wrong word.
Exactly. But the goal is connection, not perfect grammar.
It gives you permission to be messy. The effort is what matters. Having the courage to just stutter and say, I'm not feeling okay, is so much more powerful than suffering in perfect silence.
Yes, you are trying to build the bridge. Even if the stones are crooked, you're trying to reach the other side.
That is beautiful. Okay, let's wrap this all up. We covered so much today.
We really did.
We talked about that awful feeling of having a huge storm inside, but no words. We mapped out our core feelings and learned that confusion is just a massive traffic jam in our brain.
And we talked about the heavy armor we wear to protect ourselves from judgment.
We saw how talking actually moves energy in your brain to calm you down, like lifting the whistle on a pressure cooker. We practiced I feel statements and realized we don't need to fix people's problems, we just need to listen.
And no more waiting 3 business days to share a feeling.
No more HR department for our hearts. Expression is true strength. You don't need a perfect speech. Just shoot the flare gun. Use a simple I feel statement.
So I want to leave the listener with one final thought today.
Go ahead.
If talking about your feelings is like speaking a new language, who in your life is the most fluent? Who is really good at this? And more importantly, who are you going to choose as your practice partner today? Even if you know your emotional grammar is going to be terrible.
That is the perfect question. Remember, the bridge only gets built if you start laying down the stones. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
See you next time.